Yeah, thanks so much for taking my call. My question is about what a healthy adult to adult parent-child relationship should look like. Um,
Are you
I guess
the
I
are you
I
the
feel
adult or are you the parent?
I'm the adult child.
Okay, and how old are you?
I'm I'm 27,
27.
and
So
yeah,
you've been an adult, what's that? 9. So you've been an adult for more than a third of your time on the planet, right? So
yeah, I
you
guess
you've
so.
earned your stripe. When people become adults at say 18, then you got a lot of years at this. So what part of that memo have your parents not gotten?
Or maybe it's have we both not gotten, I guess.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah, so in some ways, I'm independent. I'm completely financially independent. I run my own business. I live several hours away from my parents. Um, but
Go
I feel
girl.
like emotionally, I don't know that I've separated properly.
All
Um,
right. And why do you say that?
yeah, well, I guess I've seen some things in me that are maybe not as mature in some ways and too mature in other ways. I guess as a brief explanation, we adopted my brother when I was small, and he had a lot of trauma before he was adopted, and so he
Mm,
subsequently brought a lot into our family.
yeah.
And both of my parents ended up kind of relying on me in different ways, and part of it I just took on myself. But there was some parentification that went on, I would say. Um, and I
So
think
you're kind of wired and used to playing a role of being kind of a little over concerned with their well-being.
exactly. And now the thing that's brought this to a head at this point is that I'm in a serious long distance relationship, and I'm planning to move to be close to my boyfriend. I'm actually moving closer to you as well. I'm headed to California,
Oh, cool.
so we'll be
Where
neighbors.
in California?
He's in Ukaipa.
Yucaipa. Okay.
You're
Yeah. So
yeah. So
so you're
this
moving.
is
So
like
what is the issue? What's the question?
well, I guess the question is like because they're just having a really hard time with it, and I'm so wired to think that whatever they think is the way that it should be. But there's
Wait a
other
minute. Whoa,
things
whoa,
that
whoa,
are
whoa, 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 whoa. Hold on. What are they having a hard time with? You already live away from them anyway. You're just moving to a different place. So what are they having a hard time with?
well, they're worried because um, they feel like he has less to give up because I'm moving across the border. I have friends and family here, and I have a really good job. Whereas he's just moved to a new, like he's just newly moved to Ukaipa. He's not as established there, and but
Okay.
he can't even come to where I am right now because of the COVID situation. So
Okay. So does anything so they're just concerned that you're making a big investment here, kind of putting all your chips on the table, if you will, investing in this relationship. And that's what they're worried about.
I guess so, and um, I don't know. It just feels like it's kind of a normal thing to move. A lot of people do. I don't know.
Well, like, can we
I'm
say
having a hard
how long
go.
have you how that's funny. It's yeah, it's a normal thing to do. People do this. You're exactly right. But there's a lot of normal things to do that some have gone through a process of vetting a decision and due diligence in making the decision. And some people do normal things or normal things to do, and they don't go through a due diligence and vetting process, and they're kind of gambling, right? So there's certainly
Yeah,
a risk in what you're doing, but I would ask the question, this apart from your parents, because this is kind of the ground you got to be able to stand firmly on, is do you feel like you have adequately done your due diligence and vetted him and know this relationship is worth putting your entire life that you've built on the line? because that what you're describing, I mean, as a parent or a friend, if I knew you, it's not unreasonable to ask the question, are you sure? This is a big, big deal if you're really going to rip up your whole life. So that's a reasonable question. Now you might have a great answer to it. So what's your answer?
Yeah, I mean, well, I pretty much overthink everything, so it's not a decision that I haven't.
How long have you
definitely,
known him?
we've been talking since October, and because we haven't been able to see each other, we have spent many, many hours just talking.
Yeah.
So it's, I realize that it's a risk, and we've acknowledged that to each other. Me moving down doesn't mean we get married or anything, but it's a risk that I'm willing to take. And
okay, well,
and
that's your
that is your
what's that?
Oh, and I was gonna say, I also have other significant people in my life that think it's good. Like
Right.
some of my
Okay,
close friends, they're excited for me, my counselor.
Great. So that's the reason I asked that is this. Look, your parents, I don't know them, but I mean, if you had told me the same thing, I met somebody in October that I've never even been in the same town with. And now I've got a business and I've got a life here, and a community, I'm gonna rip it up and go. If you called me and said that, I would have some questions too. Okay, that's normal.
Sure.
I don't think those are and you said you're right, but see, you have to your satisfaction, you have vetted this, right? And you got other people speaking into it. You brought other eyeballs and all of this, and all of you have collectively said, yeah, let's kind of bet the farm on this, and if we lose it, we can rebuild it, or you've kind of weighed the risk. Okay, now here's why I say that, because your parents, there's two issues here. One of the
Yeah.
issues is reasonable concern. Okay. The other issue is parental control.
Right.
And what I don't want you to do is hear their concern as parental control, because there really are two things. Because that's going to give you the strategy to be able to answer each of those problems with a very different strategy. So what I would do is I would take the first one and I would be thankful and I would validate it. And I would, it's going to sound something like this. You guys have expressed your concerns about all this. And, I just want to really thank you for, because it's helpful. I mean, you're right. This is a big move. You're exactly right. This is kind of risky in some ways. And I'm giving up a lot. And I'm just glad I have parents that are concerned in that way.
Right.
And so I would really validate it. And I'd say, so here's the way that I've vetted it. And I'd say all the things you said, my counselor and my friends and all this kind of stuff. And I'm not getting married. This is a step to kind of see. And I've also vetted I've looked at the end result. And if it ends up not being the right relationship, I know how I'm going to put everything back together or whatever. So I'm really not concerned. I'm excited. But I really thank you for making me look at it, or playing a part in by looking at it. So that's how I would answer that. Then if they go from there and start to live out the parental control thing, that's when the boundaries come in. That's when
What does that part look like?
Okay, you be your parents and I'll be you. Let me see if I can show you what it looks like. And then I gotta hustle. We're out of time here. So you be your parents.
Okay, so they might say something like, well, his job is new and you have you're more established in your job, so why doesn't he come up here?
All right, Mom, I'm sorry if I didn't explain, here's how I've heard all your concerns: his job and my moving and my giving up mine and going across. I think we've kind of talked about all that, and I've come to a good resolution about that. It sounds like you haven't. And I can understand that. And, we can agree to disagree. But I need for you to just do that, to just realize, I am 27. This is my life, and I'm willing to shoulder the consequences of this decision, but it is my decision. And so I think we've gone through all that. And what I'd like to do is let's get past that, because I'm not gonna not do this. And I'm not doing anything
Right.
wrong by doing this. So I need you to accept that. And then we can be friends, and I can tell you how it goes. If it blows up in smoke, I'll tell you that too.
Right.
So
Okay. Yeah.
just reiterate, set the limit, and empathize. Thank you for your concern, but we've already talked about that. I am making this decision. What I need is for you guys to, I hope you would understand and accept it, because I'm not going to change it. So since I'm not going to change it, it doesn't really make any sense for us to keep, kind of debating this. I'd like to go to phase
Right.
2 for us to begin to be able to watch and see how it goes. So it would look something like that.
Right.
All right.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Okay. Here's what I want you to do. Get my book, Changes That Heal. And
Have
the
it.
fourth, you have it. Okay. So go back and reread the Becoming an Adult section. And that'll
Okay.
help you, that'll strengthen you and give you some tools to be able to do this well. And you know what? God bless you for all the work you've done, and you've understood how you were taking care of them, and now you're overly concerned with them, and you love them, but you want to separate. And go, girl. Good job.
Thank you so
All
much.
right. And I hope you and your boyfriend do well, and call me back and tell me how that goes.